Here comes the crash, guys. So, this is Crypto with James talking to you today about obviously the crash yesterday, how the markets are reacting after the mini relief rally that we sort of saw after the Fed's sort of inflation news that wasn't necessarily as bad as we thought, but it's still bloody bad. I'll get into all of that in a second. So I've updated the spreadsheet, the first 26 coins I spoke about on the channel. Had you invested $100 into each of these when I released videos about them, and you were still holding all that crypto, you'd be in profit for 24 grand. Ooh, that's negative now, isn't it? That's after multiple retracements. There was a point where this was up to like 96 grand when the markets were good. But if you want to see the coins that I own, come check out Copy My Crypto. One thing that I've been saying for a while is, and I have been saying it in damn near every video, is guys, build a list of a list of coins that you're excited about long term, because a bear cycle is coming. And now we are for sure falling into that pattern. And that's an opportunity, because everything's down. That's when you're meant to invest. That's when you find gems. I found Phantom in a bear cycle. That's still up 140 times in value from when I found it after so many retracements. And there's more opportunities in the market. I'm beginning to share with the members the coins that I'm excited about for a bear cycle. I'm going to be letting them know when I enter positions in them. Obviously, that's going to depend on Bitcoin, but I'm expecting serious retracements in Bitcoin over the course of the next 40 days, really. And that's going to be certainly an opportunity. So if you want to know the coins that I'm going to get in on the bear cycle, the coins that I think can do those 20x, 40x, 50x, 100x, then come check out Copy My Crypto. The link's in the description, guys. So Bitcoin fell out of the pattern. Bitcoin fell out the uptrend. Bitcoin had a completely engulfing candle yesterday. The downside is now prevalent for like the move to the downside is pretty dramatic for Bitcoin. 30k is certainly going to be tested over the course of the next 40 days. That's based on 5-day charts. And the moves that we've seen after falling out of particular, either falling out of uptrends combined with stochastic movements. And it usually moves 40 to 45% across a 40-day roughly period. So by the 10th of June, I'm expecting that we're going to have at the very least retested 30 to 29k. I think we'll drop below that. I actually think we're looking at 25 to 20. If 25 holds, then it will be all right. If 25 does not hold, we're going to certainly can retest the highs of the 2018 cycle. All in, that's, I mean, even if it hits 25, that's a 33% retracement on Bitcoin. It's a 33% drop from where it is now. Then altcoins drop 60, 70%. Many altcoins. And, you know, the quality cryptos that you can pick up in a bear cycle. Ooh. The biggest variable is how long does the bear cycle last? Bear cycles have lasted 2 years in the past. Are we going to be in that situation, or institutions going to sort of rally the market over the course of the sort of remainder of the year? But the fact is we're heading towards a recession. So I think there's still a solid chance that we have a 2-year cycle, of a 2-year bear cycle. So yeah, we had a relief rally day before yesterday. We had a relief rally on Wednesday, and then the markets tanked yesterday. Nasdaq, huge drop. S&P, huge drop. Dow Jones Industrial Average, huge drop. Bitcoin, huge drop. So the announcement of the 50 basis point hike was given on Wednesday. Obviously, that added to the troubling news in America that actually the economy worsened in the first quarter of 2022. And there was an expectation of a 1.4% or 1% gain in the economy, and in the gain in the GDP, and it dropped in the first quarter of 2022. And obviously with rising inflation, things are getting worse. Combine that with seriously disappointing earnings for tech companies that were flying during an earlier phase of the pandemic. Why were they flying though? It's obvious why they were flying. People were investing. Some people were using them more. But generally, the people were just investing that additional funds that they had. I've been saying this for ages. The stocks are not the stock price is not reflective of the underlying value of these companies. So an economic crash was coming. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average saw all of its Wednesday gains wiped out. The Nasdaq Composite was down more than 5%. The S&P tumbled about almost 4%. Worst performance since June of 2020. Crypto obviously had a sell-off. Bitcoin fell. That's 7%. So the decline in Bitcoin on Thursday indicates that, as recent data suggested, its value may increasingly be tied to that of traditional markets. Now, I don't buy that. I don't actually like that. I think that narrative is bullshit. It's just that right now it's correlated. There's been many times throughout Bitcoin's life that it has in no way been correlated to traditional markets. But right now it is. And there's a reason for that. All the economies around the world, or the majority of the economies around the world, are set to tank. Inflation and cost of living are too much. We're seeing additional pressure being put on employers because employment's generally improved. That means that the prices, the employers now have to increase prices on consumer products to account for the increased costs that they're bearing. So the CPIs rise, consumer price index rises. On top of that, with the issues with regards to Ukraine and Russia, that's inflated natural gas. Energy costs through the roof. All of these things push towards a recession. Bank of England yesterday did an interest hike by 25 basis points. Now, that was a soft hike. They've done 4 of these in the last 4 months. So bumped up to 1% interest rate hikes. Federal Reserve are going to continue doing these basis points as well as the Bank of England. This is going to continue. Dow Jones Industrial Average peaked on January 4th. It's not a hard and fast rule, but roughly, guys, it takes 6 months from the peak of the DJIA to a recession. And that would indicate June 4th. It's not hard and fast. You can pretty much plus and minus 2 months, because sometimes it's been 4 months from the peak of the DJIA. Sometimes it's been 8 months. But that's consistently been true, that once the DJIA peaks out, a recession comes thereafter. And that's where we're heading. But the biggest thing, guys, this is a huge, huge chance. And people hate it. People go, oh, but my holdings are worth less. But yeah, if you're happy with your holdings, if you rate the cryptos that you've got as long-term investments, you have a choice. You could sell off, and as the market tanks, you can buy back in at cheaper prices, get bigger holdings. You can hold those cryptos and add to your bags as the market declines. But the one thing that people need to remember and be consistent on is that money is earned by investing when things are down. Now, for me, one thing I've been saying is, look, this 30k level is key. We could, if Bitcoin hits the 29k level, the previous low, and bounces, it will bounce at 29. We'll see many bounces across this time frame. But if it bounces at 29, we might see a little relief. But if the 29k level, at the 29k level, we're still, from this point, that's about 20% drop in Bitcoin. So then altcoins drop 35-40% at least. So quality cryptos are going to be on massive discount. If the 29K level doesn't hold, then we look at 25K. If the 25K level doesn't hold, then we look at 20K. But there's lots of chances for accumulating. And that's what I'm going to be doing throughout the next 40 days. I think within the next week, 2 weeks, we're going to have tested the 30K level. If it doesn't hold, then we're going to start coming down here. But the crypto market is strong. The institutions that are coming in are big, and the market will rally like every market around the world. After they've had a tanking, they still come back. They make new all-time highs. The time frame is the only variable. And yeah, this is something that I'm looking forward to now, because it's an opportunity to start really strengthening positions in really strong projects. I did a video yesterday talking about undervalued cryptos, and in that video I was saying that while I've not bought any of them at that moment, I said the reason I'd said it is because I expected that the market was going to have a significant decline. I still believe that there's far deeper bleed coming to the markets and all markets, because when recession finally kicks in, and we are going to hit recession, that is going to last at least a year. At least a year. And the DJIA is a really valuable tool for people to start watching, because by the same contrast of when it tops out, it's about a 6-month wait for a recession. When it bottoms out, roughly a similar time frame for the markets to start rallying truly and to be in a bull cycle. So watching the DJIA is valuable, worth doing. But the markets, yeah, look, again, it's not the nicest video for people if they're thinking short term, because short term thinking sort of leads to losses. But if you're thinking long term, you're going, right, this bleed, this market this recession, this market bleed is a chance, and sliding some money aside to make sure you start strengthening positions in really quality projects. And I'm not talking meme coins or, cryptos that are ranked in the low 2000s, 4000s in terms of market cap, but the quality cryptos, and start building that list. That's a priority for everyone. Like I said, I've been doing that for a few years. I'm really now at that point where I'm looking forward to starting to share the cryptos that I'm bullish on long term. During the bear cycle, I want to see that those cryptos are developing. I want to see that those cryptos are partnering well. I want to see that their prices drop substantially to a point where I can see that they can do a 20x or 40x or more. And yeah, when I think that they can, I'm going to share them. I'm going to invest in them, and I'll share that investment with the members of Copy My Crypto. So here's a question, guys. What do you think? What do you think the low is for Bitcoin? Because there's arguments to be made that, does it drop below 30? Or does it drop below 29? Is it going to make a lower low? In terms of the lowest? There's an argument to be made that, does it drop even below 32? Because that's roughly the entry point for your biggest institution or your biggest companies. Does that hold as a line of support? I'd be fascinated to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think in this bear cycle the low of Bitcoin will be? Yeah, and like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you know when new content's coming out, guys. And that's it from me. And if you're feeling unprepared for the bear cycle, you're not confident in the cryptos that you know, that you feel long term have enormous potential, then you can see exactly what I'm saying. Copy My Crypto. Link is in the description. Take it easy, folks. Bye bye.